Jack.
Thank you very much indeed, Simon. Good morning. The Financial Services Authority, as we've been hearing, is stepping up its regulation of home loans. Under the proposed new rules, affordability tests will be imposed on all mortgages and self-certification home loans will be banned. That means lenders will have to verify borrowers' incomes for mortgages. The Financial Services Authority is also calling for a ban on mortgages containing so-called toxic combinations, which puts borrowers at a higher risk, such as lending a high proportion of a property's value to people with impaired credit histories. The industry will have until 30th of January of next year to comment on the plans. Well, let's speak to Henry Pryor, housing expert, to find out what he makes of this. Good thing, bad thing?
Well, I suspect, Simon, that the industry is going to have quite a lot to say during this consultative period, because conceivably this could have quite considerable ramifications on the housing market at a time. Remember that the government has spent the last 12 months desperately trying to pump money back into the system. 150 billion pounds worth of quantitative easing has gone in there. They've all but frog-marched lenders back to their tellers to try and get them to lend back into the market. And here's the FSA today saying, actually, hold on a minute, there are some people, possibly quite a lot of people, that you won't be able to lend to.
Will they not be able to lend to them? You're talking about presumably self-employed people, maybe first-time buyers. All it's really saying on the face of it is don't lend irresponsibly and don't lend people more money than can pay back. That sounds pretty sensible.
Well, potentially. Certainly there are some people, of course, who need saving from themselves, but the vast majority of people are going to go back into a system that, over the last 10 years, has moved away from that Captain Mannering relationship banking experience where people understood what their customers were actually looking for. And they're now going to be credit scored, it'll be done on computer, and as a result, the vast majority of people, particularly those who are self-employed or indeed first-time buyers, those who are getting a leg up from the bank of mum and dad, which everybody's having to do at the moment if they're trying to get into the property market, are going to find themselves pretty constrained.
Nevertheless, if you're saying that it could materially affect the property market, which has seen a little bit of a recovery lately, if the only thing that's keeping house prices up is people lending too much money and credit being too easy, then maybe we do need to take some more air out of those tyres and see the property market come down a bit more if it's too high.
Well, I suspect that there are 12 million mortgage borrowers who are going to have perhaps a contrary view to that one, but I agree. Somebody somewhere perhaps has got to get their minds around what level of prices are acceptable and good. If you look at Rightmove today, who've put out their monthly survey on asking prices, they've said that house prices, in terms of guide prices, have gone up by 2.8% over the month. So there's still a long way to go on this, but this could have serious implications to a particularly fragile market.
It's quite an interesting cultural shift, isn't it? Because it is saying that the market is not always right, that you actually have to get involved. Consumers need saving from themselves. The price of products can be wrong.
Well, this is the grave danger. We've got a particularly fragile market at the moment that has come back considerably over the last 12 months, but prices are still between 14 and 15% down on their peak in 2007. House prices themselves are predicated on the availability of credit, not necessarily specifically supply and demand. That any constraint on that availability of credit is going to have a downward pressure on prices, which have very little left to go this time at the moment, because, of course, the general election by June of next year is going to mean that the market stops probably at Christmas time.
Henry, thank you very much indeed. More on that and other stories from me later on today, just after the top of the hour. Thank you.